So, did Florentino Pérez actually lay down an ultimatum for Vinícius? What is going on with the Real president? And why on earth could the Brazilian be about to leave the club? Next up, Liverpool is grabbing a huge star from PSG. And get this, Manchester United is ready to pull the trigger on a shocking sale of their main man. And to top it all off, Rüdiger is apparently already packing his bags and heading to Turkey. We're breaking down all of this and loads more in today's video. Lads, let's see if we can smash 350 likes on this one. Your support genuinely helps us bring you even better stuff. Right, let's dive into the hottest transfer rumors. Liverpool aren't just having a little look anymore, they're properly piling in for Bradley Barcola from PSG. And yeah, he's the clear number one to be the new Salah. Arne Slot and the lads know full well. Mo's era at Anfield could be done as early as January, straight after the Africa Cup of Nations. That explosive interview has clearly left him and the boss not exactly best mates, and the Merseysiders aren't waiting until summer, they're hunting a top-class winger right now. According to Caught Offside, the Reds have made the 23-year-old Frenchman priority number one, and the juiciest bit, Barcola himself, is open to the move to Anfield. In Paris under Luis Enrique, he still isn't nailed on starter. Yes, last season he was a key part of PSG's treble, and this season he's already bagged 5 goals and 3 assists in 19 games across all competitions. But he can't get a regular start with that insane competition up top. At Liverpool, they're telling him straight, come here and you'll be the main man on the right flank. Barcola's contract with PSG still has over 2 years to run, and of course the Parisians don't want to let him go. He's seen as part of the long-term project. The club are even ready to offer him a new deal with a pay rise. But sources close to the deal are saying it straight. If Liverpool come in with a serious bid, the transfer is absolutely on. Money talks. And the Reds are prepared to pay proper money for a player who fits their style perfectly. Because Barcola is exactly what the Premier League needs right now. Ridiculous pace, technique, one-on-one dribbling, youth and a ceiling that's somewhere in the stratosphere. At Anfield, he'll get what he's desperately missing in Paris, the leading role in attack. Not just being one of 5 superstars, but actually carrying the team's attack. Of course, no one can fully replace Mohamed Salah, but Barcola can make the loss hurt a lot less. Seriously soften the blow. At the same time, there is competition for the Frenchman. Manchester United have also taken a shine to the lad. But right now, Liverpool are out in front. They need a direct Salah replacement immediately, and they're ready to guarantee Barcola exactly what he wants. A starting spot, the main role, and a stage where he can absolutely tear up English football. Bottom line, if it all comes together, this will be one of the loudest transfers of the winter window. Liverpool aren't just looking for a Salah replacement. They want to sign a lad who in a couple of years could be the new king of the Premier League right flank. January is going to be red hot. Real Madrid is looking towards the English Premier League once again. You would think that Los Blancos already have a completely full set in their attack. But apparently, for Florentino Pérez, that is just not enough. Data has appeared suggesting that the Royal Club has set its sights on the Manchester City winger, Jeremy Doku. The guy is only 23 years old, and he has already made some serious noise over in England. Since the moment of his move to the Citizens, Doku hasn't just secured a spot in the squad, but has become a genuinely important figure in Pep Guardiola's setups. And now, according to a report from the Spanish outlet Fichajes, Pérez really wants to see this jet-heeled Belgian at the Santiago Bernabeu. Moreover, the Real Madrid president, in informal chats with city representatives, didn't even hide his amazement at Doku's game. Don Florentino specifically noted the explosive power of the winger. I mean, the guy doesn't just run around the pitch. He has genuinely impressed the Madrid management with his play. Doku's characteristics, his boldness, creativity, and reading of the game and attack fit perfectly into the concept of vertical football. These are exactly the kind of performers Real needs for matches with high pressure, especially in their beloved Champions League. But as it usually happens in stories like this, there is one huge problem. Pulling off this deal will be, putting it mildly, not easy. I would even say it's almost unrealistic. Manchester City is not the kind of club that goes around throwing away its assets. They bought Doku for 60 million euros, and right now, he is an indispensable element for them. Guardiola considers him a key performer, and no one is going to let him go just like that. If Real seriously decides to take the player, they will have to shell out more than 120 million euros. And right here the question arises, is it actually worth it? It seems unlikely that the Spanish giant will dump such a pile of money for Jeremy. Yes, no one is arguing, the Belgian is a quality player, talented, promising, but 120 million? For that kind of price tag, in Madrid, they are used to getting an already established superstar. Doku, objectively speaking, does not reach that level just yet. We are hardly going to see this transfer anytime soon. For Real, it would be much more logical to search for more economically beneficial options on the market. Besides, Jérémy's contract is long all the way until 2029. His market value is high, and the coach adores him. Nevertheless, Doku's name has already ended up on Madrid's shortlist. They have taken note of him, put him in pencil, as often happens with rising talents. Signing the Belgian is perceived as a very complex operation, but in football, as we know, anything can happen. For now, though, this looks like Perez's wild fantasies crashing against financial reality and the principles of the sheikhs. Dayot Upamecano has just slapped Bayern with an ultimatum so massive they're still picking their jaws up off the floor in Munich. The Frenchman has said it loud and clear. Either you give me 16 million euros a year plus special clauses that let me decide my own future moves before January, or from the first I sign a pre-contract with Real Madrid or PSG. And yes, both clubs have already told him, Dayot, mate, come on over, we'll pay everything, signing bonus included. Kicker reports that Upamecano's camp has completely shut down talks until Bayern accept every single demand without negotiation. No, we'll think about it. No, maybe a little less. All or nothing. And this is the season where he's been the best version of himself. 20 games, absolute rock, lightning recovery pace. Starting attacks from deep. Company's entire system is built on his shoulders. But his agents are sick to death of Bayern's endless dawdling and the same old, we don't break the wage structure excuse. 16 million would make him one of the highest paid players at the club. Right when Max Eberl is swinging the axe on the wage bill, they're not ready to smash that ceiling for one man. Even though everyone keeps calling Upamecano's renewal a priority. Classic Bayern, they want him, just not that much. If they say no, he'll play out the season and walk for free in summer 2026. 60 million euros in market value gone up in smoke? It'll be Alaba 2.0, only worse. Because last time there was COVID as an excuse. This time it's pure incompetence. And here's the funniest part. Dayot has options coming out of his ears, all of them absolutely loaded. Real see him as the perfect long-term successor to the aging Alaba-Rüdiger partnership, and they're licking their lips at getting him for nothing in 2026. Pure Florentino Pérez catnip. PSG are desperate to bring their boy home and will throw whatever signing bonus he wants. Fresh from Team Talk, Chelsea and Manchester City have now officially entered the race. The Blues, after Colwill's injury and Maresca saying, I'm not convinced by the current squad, have decided enough quantity, time for proper quality. City under new sporting director Hugo Viana have stuck Upamecano right at the top of their shortlist too. Basically, the lad is living that meme. When every top club in Europe is begging for you and your current club still thinks you'll wait forever while they count pennies. Bayern have a straight choice. Smash their precious wage structure and make Upamecano one of the top earners, or lose 60 million in their best center back overnight. For Company, it would be a sporting disaster. His entire high line is built around Dayot's pace and passing. January is coming fast. If Bayern blink, he's gone, no way back. And we'll all be sitting here with the popcorn watching one of Europe's most consistent defenders decide which of 4 elite clubs he fancies living in. Right now, Dayot Upamecano isn't just a player, he's the absolute king of this whole situation. Antonio Rüdiger and his future in Madrid, that is, right now, probably the weirdest riddle at the Santiago Bernabeu. You'd think the German has become an absolute rock in the defense for Los Blancos, easily one of the most reliable players in the squad. But check out this paradox. A new contract still hasn't been signed, and the old one seems to be living out its final months. And while Florentino Pérez is playing the silent game, rumors are already starting to circle around the German star. The loudest and, let's say it straight, most unexpected inside info flew in from Spain. The publication AS reports that Turkey's Galatasaray has shown up on the horizon, and the guys from Istanbul aren't just serious, they are hyper-aggressive. The Turks want to pull off this deal right now, in this winter transfer window. Galatasaray's head coach, Okan Buruk, is personally interested in the move. He's looking for not just a defender, but a real leader, a mental giant who will cement the backline and drag the team to trophies. And the highly experienced Rüdiger is the ideal candidate for that role. The situation for Real is getting pretty tricky. By the rules, as soon as January hits, clubs from outside Spain can officially open talks with Rüdiger to snap him up in the summer absolutely for free as a free agent. The contract is running out, and the German, who is 32 years old now, still hasn't put his signature on a new deal. Moreover, reports say that Antonio, seeing this indecisiveness from the club, is open to looking at any offers. Galatasaray understands this setup perfectly. Their plan is simple: agree with the player first and then roll out an offer to Real to take the defender this winter, instead of waiting for summer. And right here, the bosses of Los Blancos are facing a dilemma that would give anyone a headache. On one side, this dragged-out uncertainty clearly isn't helping. The club needs to solve this urgently. Either lock Rüdiger down long-term or sell him now in January to get at least some kind of transfer fee. Otherwise, there's a risk of losing a top player and not getting a single euro cent for it. It's this indecisiveness from Madrid that allowed rumors like this Turkish interest to even be born. Clubs can smell it and are starting to test the waters. But there is one huge but. Real is going through a real crisis with injuries in the defensive line right now. Letting go of your most stable center back in the middle of the season, when there's basically no one left to play, that is, putting it mildly, a shot in the foot. That's why it's unlikely Madrid will just part ways with Rüdiger in the winter so easily. But we also can't forget that injuries are chasing Rüdiger too, and in the current season, he has played 4 matches in La Liga. So as long as that signature isn't on the contract, the speculation is only going to ramp up. Turkey is the most persistent option right now, but far from the only one. If Los Blancos keep dragging their feet, Rüdiger might well change his club address. Because even for the most reliable players, patience isn't endless. The long-term rebuild of Manchester United under Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos has rarely felt as fragile and delicate as it does right now. And the latest sign of a major strategic U-turn is all about Bruno Fernandes. His future is back in the center of the spotlight. According to reports from Caught Offside, the club is actually expecting offers for their captain, with Al Hilal and Al Ittihad really ramping up their interest. The expected figure of around £70 million tells a story. Inside the club, they are looking at this sale as a way to completely reformat the next cycle of building the squad. It also highlights a massive shift in the mood over at Old Trafford. Fernandes is being called United's most sellable asset, and there is a growing readiness to cash in on him while his stock is still high. A huge part of the reasoning here is linked to United's desire to upgrade the midfield with serious ambition targeting players like Elliot Anderson and Carlos Baleba. Fernandes has been identified as the player they need to sell to help fund these transfers. In a market ruled by strict financial regulations and where the club has messed up resource distribution for years, it's logical that Ineos sees controlled sales as a tool for a refresh. Selling at peak value makes sense on paper, but the risk is still massive. Fernandes continues to deliver a level that almost no one else in Amorim's squad can match. Right now, he is United's best player this season, sitting first in assists and second in goals. These stats don't just show results, they show influence. In the short term, losing Fernandes is going to dump extra pressure on a system that is still finding its feet and struggling with instability. Amorim is still shaping this team into an aggressive, possession-based unit, and losing that leadership could force a tactical reset that he probably doesn't want. Fernandes might be getting older, but looking at his numbers, there are no signs of him slowing down. Considering that some elite players nowadays are extending their prime well into their late 30s, age shouldn't be the only reason to let him go. If United decides this is the last chance to get a huge fee, then a summer sale might support the goal of building a younger, more complete midfield. But don't get it twisted. This is a gamble that will define the next stage of the project. You don't lose a captain with Fernandes' output without consequences. Fernandes remains the heart of the team, and selling him feels like another example of the club taking 2 steps back, hoping to eventually move forward. Ruben Amorim is in his 2nd season, and fans would tell you he still hasn't been given a squad worthy of his ideas. Removing the most consistent performer means you could easily wreck any progress. Many people will look at the numbers and ask, why is the club even considering this? Letting him go to pay for Anderson or Baleba, no matter how talented they are, looks like a downgrade in the immediate future. The frustration is fueled by a fear that United is about to sell proven quality again without creating a stable, competitive spine. Everyone knows the midfield lacks depth and leadership. Losing the captain when the project is this fragile feels reckless. Until United proves their scouting can deliver real, sustainable improvement, we have to look at decisions like this with serious caution. Florentino Pérez has had enough. The Real Madrid president has run out of patience, and now Vinícius Jr. has one simple choice. Sign the contract that's on the table right now, or get sold next summer. No third option, no more talks. End of. Spanish press are reporting tonight that the club has officially told the Brazilian and his people this is the final offer. Los Blancos are not letting 150 to 180 million euros walk out the door for nothing in 2027. That would be an embarrassment on a galactic scale. Guys, please don't leave without rating this video. It really helps the channel out. Hit the like or dislike button, best to do it right now, and leave a comment. We'd really appreciate it. So what does Vini actually want? He wants Mbappe money, 30 million euros net per year. His reasoning? Scored goal in the 2022 Champions League final. Named the best FIFA Men's Player 2024. Been the best player on the planet for 2 seasons straight? Fair argument on paper, right? Wrong. According to the Bernabeu, paying a winger the same as the face of the entire project would blow the wage structure to pieces. And the wage structure at Real Madrid is the holiest of holy cows. Touch it and the whole dressing room explodes with, well, why not me then? Let's be real. Vini is miles off his best right now. 6 goals and 8 assists in 28 games, worst numbers since 2019-20. Not exactly the moment to be asking for the biggest contract in club history, is it? When you're flying, name your price. When you're struggling, maybe pump the brakes. And there is more. Sources inside the club say Xabi Alonso has told the board straight, Vinícius does perfectly fit my attacking system. The Basque wants control, verticality, play through the middle. Endless 1v1 runs down the left aren't part of the plan. Alonso's word carries massive weight, and it's hardened Florentino's stance even further. Add the Mbappe factor. Vini is no longer the undisputed main man. He's number 2 now, and he hates it. People close to him say he's genuinely pissed off with his treatment this season. Result? Inside Valdebebas, they're openly talking about being ready to move him on. Manchester City, PSG, and 2 Saudi Pro League giants have already made formal inquiries. The Saudis are offering insane money, 70 to 80 million a year to the player, and north of 150 million to Madrid. In Europe, the list is endless. Chelsea, both Manchester clubs, and PSG are all watching like hawks. PSG have already started quiet chats with his camp. Real Madrid's position is ice cold. No player is bigger than the project. Keeping someone who doesn't have the full backing of the manager and wants record-breaking wages is a direct threat to the whole operation. The ultimatum is also about protecting dressing room harmony. So the ball is completely in Vinícius's court, but he's not budging. And Real Madrid are not breaking their wage policy. Someone is going to have to blink.